Hey, Fanboy Nation.
This is your pal Daffy Duck, and you're watching.
We're watching
You're watching Fanboy.
Fanboy.
A fanboy, etc.
Fanboy Nation.
Dot, I assume Tom.
The last time I saw Jillian Bell, we were at a ABC Christmas party when we could still gather, and we were having fun, and her sister was really nice to me, so hello to your sister when you get a chance to greet her. But today we're also speaking with the filmmaker behind Cowboy, Anna Kerrigan. The two of you, how are you today? I know Sally is an intense character, and this is an intense story. Without bashing everybody over the head, picking side A or side B, it's just two parents trying to decide what's best for their child.
I mean, so much in that intro that was beautiful. First of all, I'm going to tell my sister, because I see her every day. I'll tell my sister hello, and she's going to be excited she was mentioned in this. Wait, was there a question?
No, sure. It was just an intro about how your character Sally and then Troy are splitting up and then almost weaponizing their child who identifies as transgender against each other with two different perspectives on what's best for Joe.
Oh, that's interesting. I didn't feel like we were weaponizing the child, but
yeah, I didn't.
Interesting.
Yeah.
I didn't either. I think it's a story about people who are a little lost and who make mistakes because they're human and they're a little broken right now and trying to find their way, I guess, home, find their way to, at least for Troy and Joe, maybe a new home. For Sally, she needs to figure out who she is before she can fully accept anyone else and love someone else. But I think it's actually a beautiful story about a family that's a little lost right now.
I can see that aspect. The reason why I brought up weaponizing is because I had so many friends growing up who were children of divorce, and you can see the aspect of the parents going, this is what's best for my child. No, this is what's best for my child. And sometimes asking the child what they wanted. So
sure. Well, in the case of our film, I feel that, Troy, which is the sort of complicated father character played by Steve Zahn, is very, very close with his transgender son, Joe. And of the two parents, he certainly and immediately accepts his child in a way that the mom does not. And I think that Troy is someone, he actually does want a happy family. And it's only when it gets to sort of an extreme point and he feels that his wife, who he's separated from, is really never ever going to accept the kid, only then does he make a move to sort of save the child, bring him to a place where he believes that he can be appreciated for who he is.
This is a heavy story, and I like the way that you told it, simply because it's still, again, two parents trying to figure out what's best for their child. And one obviously sitting there, they're too young to make this decision. The other one's like, all right, that's what you are, that's what you are. And you didn't push either side exactly one way or the other, just showing that, but you use a lot of natural light. You put it in a Midwestern, almost northern motif. What was so important about telling the story in almost a Western fashion, or a modern Western fashion, Anna?
Yeah, I set the film in and we shot the film in northwestern Montana, the Flathead Valley, where I used to go as a kid with my friend's family. And when I started writing the movie, I just knew that it was a father and a son on horseback. I let the writing sort of unfold, and I learned who this family was and why they were outlaws and what they were running away from. And, I was interested in this. I think, the young transgender boy wants to be a cowboy, which is a very interesting kind of well-known archetype of masculinity, especially American masculinity. So I felt like, using these sort of like Western themes and these outlaw characters who are kind of like the new outlaws, it's not that they've murdered someone or robbed a bank. They're outlaws of modern society because one has mental health issues and the other is a transgender kid. So I thought that all sort of fit nicely and worked well into their sort of journey. And the film goes back and forth between the present, which is them trying to make their way to Canada, and a sort of like archaeological look through flashbacks of what brought them to that place, looking at the family. And yeah, I just wanted it to feel real and natural, like you said, using natural light, and just show that these are like full characters who are not monolithic, and they're complicated, and they're all trying their best. No one is a villain, really.
Right. Jillian, we've known you for your humor quite a bit. I think the last time we talked was when Brittany Runs a Marathon, and that was a fun flick. And you and Steven are both primarily known for your comedic talents, but comedic actors are always the best dramatic actors. And with this being a heavy topic, how did you keep it light for Sasha in between takes?
I think Sasha was the one who brought lightness throughout, because this was his first project. So he had that excitement of just, we're making a movie. And he also has the excitement of, I'm a kid. So, he's running around and being like, they have candy over at Crafty. Like he was just generally just like sunshine and lightness. If anything, he's such an extrovert that it was, I think his challenge with the movie was always like, oh, okay, playing more of an introverted character. And Steve is such a goof, and I'm a goof too. And obviously when we were in scenes that were a little bit heavier, more serious, we really were trying to show Sasha like how to stay in it, because it's helpful for us and it will be helpful for him as well. But a lot of the times too, when we would have breaks, we really got along. Like we would go out for meals together with his family, with Sasha's family, and rehearse together and just kind of get to know each other, just so we can make this family feel very real. So yeah, I do feel like if anything, it was harder for us to get back into the heaviness if we needed to, than to stay, than to find the light.
I dig it. And then Anna, we know that Sasha identifies as transgender and identifies as he. In dealing with the child who not only has recently come to these terms of identification, but also directing them. Not only are you a transgender person, you're playing a transgender person, but a different personality type. How is that? The difficulties in bringing the character to life, rather than just like for Sasha not trying to internalize it too much and go, is this really me that I'm playing, or is it still a character? Because he was 10 years old at the time.
Right. Yeah, it is complicated. I think whenever you work with child actors, it's complicated, especially in a role that isn't like not a throwaway role, but this is like a character with a real inner life that's going through a real journey. In advance of shooting, I had never worked with a kid this extensively. So, well, first I talked to the transgender media relations person at GLAAD, and they introduced me to some families with transgender sons and fathers, and I spoke with them about their experiences. And I also spoke with coaches, who work specifically with kids. And, it was important to, let Sasha know, like, this is not real. But I didn't really feel like he struggled with that, I mean, it's not, he was, like Jillian said, he was just such like a bright, sunny presence on stage. And I was very worried about him internalizing too much, but it didn't feel like he was. Like it just, we would yell cut, and like Jillian said, he would like run and grab a Coca-Cola. That was actually the most difficult thing, was trying to get him to stop having sugar between takes and scenes, because he'd come back and be like, ah, and I'm like, oh my God, did you have a Coca-Cola? What happened? But yeah, I mean, it's tricky, and you have to have the parents on board, and especially with anyone on a set with who identifies as transgender, you want the crew and the cast to understand and be on board with the correct pronouns. And yeah, you just have to be a little more diligent But I think always with the kid, you have to be really careful to protect them.
But the film is fantastic. Congratulations on this film. I know unfortunately we're running out of time. I could talk to you about this for like another 9 hours because there's so much to deconstruct. But Cowboys comes out February 12th on VOD, virtual theaters, and if you're lucky enough to have an open theater by you somewhere over there. Anna and Jillian, where can we find you on social media if we want to connect?
I'm Lady Anna Kerrigan at Instagram.
And I'm at Jillian Bell.
Perfect. And I'll make sure never to call Anna, Amanda, and we'll be good to go.
Or Anna, even. It's
all
Anna.
Right, so, Anna. Yep.
Okay.
All right. Thanks, everyone. And I'll talk to you later.
All right. Bye-bye.
Bye.